When the term tennis comes up, people often associate the sport with the top four, or with some of our favorite queens, Steffi and Serena. But there's a lot more to this sport. Many players are on the receiving end of injuries, and getting back to the top takes a lot of perseverance and effort. Among such warriors is Daria Saville. Let's talk about how she stunned the fans with a tennis feat in Washington upset. Starting off with Saville's stunning performance. Against all odds and without letting her injuries take over her game, Daria managed to pull off one of the greatest performances of her entire career as she sent the #1 Jessica Pegula back home. With all her might and plenty of tricks up her sleeve, she defeated Pegula with the ease of a seasoned player and reached the quarterfinal of the famous Citi Open. This comes off as an even bigger surprise considering how she ended up with cramps in Wimbledon and lost horribly to Tomova. But it looks like she's back, and she's stronger than ever. Well, we did know during the match that she'd be defeating the current champion, so forgive us if our jaws were on the floor when she defeated defending champion Pegula with a score of 7-5 and 6-4. Daria had a pretty tough time considered how, despite trying her best, Jessica could only land around 44% of the first serves that she sent flying. And don't get mad at us for not expecting this win, because even the commentators were shaken at what went down. One of them remarked how the top seed was out of the tournament, thanks to a stunning performance for Daria Saville. It looks like while she's had quite a tough time recently, the Aussie has been glowing in 2022, as she finally got the chance to sneak up into the top 100. And you'd realize how huge of a feat this is for her, considering that the last time she was on the list, it was back in 2019. So it might have taken her 3 long years to get back on track, but it looks like she's back with a bang. So why is this win such a big deal for Daria? As we mentioned, luck hasn't been on her side for a while now, so it's a pretty big deal. Even some fans were amazed at how much time she had been forced to take off because of injuries. This one Twitter user tweeted how it's surprising the amount of time she had been on the bench because of injuries. Must have hurt a lot, both physically and emotionally, to be missing out on major opportunities. But it doesn't stop here. So here's the cherry on top. Do you know how we keep stressing that she's managed to beat the defending champion? Well, that's only because this is not the first time she's done something like this in the past couple of months. In fact, this is actually the second time in the past couple of months that she's managed to beat a world top 10 opponent. Pretty crazy, right? So you see how it's actually not really luck, but her own stunning effort and perseverance that she's managed to pull this off twice. You go, girl. We can't wait to see what more she has in store for us. And just as we were shocked, major tennis experts couldn't help but tweet to express their admiration for the champ. David Kane, a tennis big shot, tried to show his followers why this was such a big deal and not your everyday upset where an underdog takes the game. He tweeted that it took Daria somewhere around 4 long years to be able to get to the point where she could get herself a 12th career top 10 victory. But recently, Wonder Woman has been on a roll. Why do we say this? Well, it just took her 5 more months to bag that 13th win as well. And let's see what 2022 has been like for Daria. So a couple of months back in February, she was pretty low on the scale as she had a ranking of world number 627. And obviously, she had a lot going on, so the rating kinda made sense. She was out for around a whole year because of Achilles tendon surgery back in 2021. Naturally, lots of rest was all that she had on her bucket list. And with all that time off, the player kept getting pushed down on the list. Anyway, none of that matters anymore, because she has managed to rise up around 500 places just in the first half of the year, following her matches in Indian Wells and Miami. Even the star herself can't believe what she did. She admitted in a post-match interview that she was very excited to play against top 10 players again, and it was a pretty tough challenge as well, but getting a win out of it was definitely worth it all. With that said, we can't wait to see how she stuns us as the year continues. From what we know so far, she'll be facing Rebecca Marino moving forward. And in other news, first off, Jelena Djokovic is pissed at the media for bashing her husband. Djokovic has withdrawn from the Montreal event, which was set to begin on Monday, within the past 7 days. Racket magazine, meanwhile, quickly rushed to Twitter to voice its thoughts on the matter. They tweeted, "Don't know why this guy keeps entering tournaments, hoping they'll change their rules for him. Yikes, no wonder she's pissed." But to be honest, they're not wrong. Since it has received over 2,000 likes, Jelena reacted to the tweet by saying, "Is this a real international tennis magazine? At ATP Tour, wow." And then to top it off, she added a couple of shock face emojis to show her disbelief at their unprofessionalism. Following that, Racket magazine wrote to Jelena to express their wish. They actually wanted him to compete in the US Open, something he's now unable to do because of his anti-vaccination beliefs. Along with his super civil message, they also said that hopefully Novak would follow the rules. But Jelena was not having any of their salty remarks. She only wanted to deal with their initial tweet about Djokovic entering and replied, "Based on tennis rules and ranking, Novak's entry in the tournament was automatic. So what was the logic behind your tweet? Gotta admit, she's pretty good at defending her man." Also, Serena on the receiving end of a tough US Open draw. The Toronto Open starts next week, and Serena Williams will have her work cut out for her as she begins her hard-court training for the US Open. In the second round, assuming Williams beats a qualifier, she will play either Belinda Bencic or Victoria Azarenka, both of whom won gold at the Tokyo Olympics. 4-time major winner Naomi Osaka and rising Canadian star Leylah Fernandez are also in Williams' tough section of the draw. And based on her history with Naomi, it looks like she's really got her work cut out for her this time. After After spending a year away from the courts, the 41-year-old American returned to play at Wimbledon in June, when she lost in the first round. So it was all going to be tough for her anyway, but with this challenging draw, she's going to have a lot on her plate. But we're not really worried. The Queen has outshone herself many times over the past couple of years, and we have no doubt that she'll come out shining this time as well. And if not, with the tough fight she puts up, we're at least going to get some pretty amazing tennis. So we're definitely looking forward to her vicious energy. And finally, let's talk about Murray and his mission to deal with the cramping issues. Andy Murray, too, has been a victim of injuries this time around, as he struggled to run around while playing against Mikael Ymer. The end result was a first-round defeat at the Citi Open, and obviously, he's pretty disappointed by the way things panned out. Plus, this isn't the first time it has happened. Cramping again in the last set, the former world #1 was clearly exhausted after a 2.5-hour tussle in Newport as well. He even went on record to talk about how he had been struggling with cramping ever since the last 2 tournaments. The star realizes that it's something that's hindering his progress, and that he wants to work with his team and see what it is that's causing the cramping to come back. He even added that he'd try and make a few changes here and there if need be. Plus, we know it wasn't all talk from his end, because throughout the post-match conference, he kept referring to all the things he wanted to change to make this work again. He said he'll have to take a closer look at his preparation off the court and on the practice court to see if there's anything more that he can be doing or alternative methods of practicing would work. Murray also had a pretty good hold on what his future schedule will look like. According to him, scheduling training at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. instead of 10 a.m. when it's less humid and warmer isn't really working, and he aims to deal with it all. That's a wrap for this video. Were you as stunned as we were at the Saville versus Pegula upset? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.